All right, so part three, hallelujah. Part three of the true message of Christianity. Okay, part three of the true message of Christianity. All right. So last time I explained that in Christianity, you don't offer anything to God for God to bless you and protect you spiritually. You don't do anything for God to bless you and protect you spiritually. You don't do anything. You see. Because of the sacrifice of Christ, God has already given. He has already given. He has already given his blessing and protection spiritually to all. And that is what we call the good news. You see. And that's the first part of the message of Christianity. So Christianity tells people this is good news. This is good news. That you no longer need to offer anything to God so that God will bless and protect you spiritually. Because of the offering of Jesus Christ, God has given his blessing and protection spiritually to all. Free. Hey, what a wonderful good news. But Christianity also teaches you what is the appropriate response to this message. And you see, this is where some people get confused. So I will plead with you to listen very carefully so that you understand. What is the appropriate response to this message of Christianity? And the appropriate response to this message is that believe the good news and then do your part in the physical realm. You see, God has done it for everyone spiritually because of the sacrifice of Christ. Now, believe this good news, accept this good news, and then do your part in the physical realm. In other words, believe the good news and do what is physically necessary in order to receive the outcome. Okay, let's quickly go back to our analogies. Okay, so you are Leah. God has closed your womb spiritually. So when you have sex with Isaac, you don't have a child. You see. So because of that, you've even given up. You see. Then, for some reason, God changes his mind. You see. Now, in the case of Leah, it was because of the prayers of Jacob. You see, so Jacob offered prayers to God. You see the old dimension. Jacob offered prayers to God. And on the basis of that, God opened the womb of Leah. You see. So for some reason, God has now opened your womb spiritually. So when I come to tell you that, hey, Leah, listen, God has opened your womb spiritually, how should you respond to it? Well, you need to believe what I'm telling you. You need to accept the good news that God has indeed opened your womb spiritually, and then go ahead and have sex with your husband again. You see, that is the response. You see, you believe the good news that, spiritually it has been done for me. Then you do what is physically necessary in order to get the result. Taking the analogy of the tap. For the past 10 years, you've not had water. You've been buying water. You've not had water in your taps like you've been buying water for the past 10 years, past 15 years, the past 20 years. right? Because you could not pay Ghana Water to open the tap for you on their side. And so you got disconnected, and for the past 20 years, you don't have water. Now, the foundation, the NGO, has gone to pay Ghana Water Company on behalf of all Ghanaians. So now the tap has been opened on their side for you. So I come and I tell you that, hey, my dear friend, I have some good news for you. I have some good news for you. I know that for the past 20 years, you've not had water from Ghana Water Company. You've not had water in your house, and you've been struggling and buying water and all of that. I have good news for you. There is this NGO called Gates Foundation, and they're going to pay Ghana Water Company for pay for the water bill for all Ghanaians to Ghana Water Company. And as a result of that, in response to that, the Ghana Water Company has opened the tap for all Ghanaians. This is the good news I have for you. Now, what is the appropriate response to this good news? Or what is the response to this good news that will benefit you? Well, you believe it. You believe that, what I'm telling you is true. So you go and then you go and open your tap. Right? Because you believe that, it has been opened spiritually. So now you go and then physically, you open it. You do what is physically necessary. So then the water will now flow and enter your house. If you don't believe the good news that I'm giving you, you say, we've not had water for 20 years. Is it now you are coming to tell me that, like, you are joking with me, eh? You are playing me the free up, leave there. Get away, go away. What is going to happen? You will not go and open your tap because you don't believe that it's being opened for you spiritually. So you will not open the tap. And when you don't open the tap, then the water will not come. So even though the tap has been opened for you on their side, even though the tap has been opened for you spiritually, no water will flow in your house. You will keep buying water, you keep buying water, you keep buying water. Why? Because you did not believe the good news. And therefore, you did not take the physically necessary action to get the water. This is why we say that faith, believing the good news, faith is essential, you see, to receiving in the physical realm what God has done in the spiritual realm. You see. Now, please understand this. Understand this. The faith we are talking about in Christianity, we are not talking about a faith that is moving God to do anything. That is not the faith that we are talking about in Christianity. You hear people saying today that, listen, your tears does not move God. The only thing that moves God is your faith. This is pre-Christian thinking. It's pre-Christian thinking. Christianity does not teach that you need to have faith for God to bless and protect you spiritually. That's not what Christianity teaches. You see, if you believe that, or if you teach that, you need to have faith so that God will bless you and protect you spiritually. Then you have turned faith into another offering that we make so that God will bless and protect us. You see, so it's like, yes, Jesus Christ has sacrificed himself, but it is not enough for God to bless and protect us. So now add your faith. When you combine your faith to the sacrifice that Christ has made, the two together will make God bless you and protect you spiritually. That's not what Christianity is saying. Because in Christianity, we believe in the sufficiency of the offering and the sacrifice of Christ. So the faith that one has in Christianity, you see, it is not a faith that moves God to do anything. It is a faith that moves you. Listen, the faith in Christianity does not move God to bless you and protect you spiritually. The faith of Christianity, it moves you to act and do what is physically necessary so that the blessing that God has already given to you spiritually will materialize in the physical. Let me say that again. In Christianity, your faith does not move God. Your faith moves you. The reason why we say you need to have faith and believe is because if you don't believe that the tap has not been opened on Ghana water side, it has been opened. If you don't believe that because of the payment that this Gates Foundation made, the water has been opened spiritually, you will not open the tap in your house. You see, Abraham and Sarah, maybe 40 years, Sarah has gone into menopause. Even when they were young, they did not have children. Maybe when Sarah was 23, 22, 21, 24, 25, they've been having sex and no children. You see? And now Sarah is in her 90s. And then God says that I've blessed you spiritually to have a child. You see? Now listen, it is not because of their faith that God has blessed them spiritually, right? God has blessed them spiritually to have a child. But when God tells them that I've blessed you spiritually to have a child, you see, if they believe God, then now they will go and lie on the bed again and do the thing one more time because they believe what God has said. So you see, their faith is not making God do anything for them. No, their faith is making them go and do the do on the bed. So that the baby that God has given to them spiritually, they will have it physically. Do you understand? Let me give you another one. When Peter was on the boat, with some people, they said, we have toiled all night and we have caught nothing. So we have toiled all night and we have caught nothing. We have toiled all night and we have caught nothing. They toiled without the blessing. Spiritually, it was closed for them. So they toiled all night and they caught nothing because in the Sunsum, the thing is closed. But when Jesus comes and he blesses them, he speaks a word. He says, cast your net there. Now, spiritually, Jesus opens the tap for them. You see, and says that, okay, cast your net there. Now, why is it necessary for Peter to believe? Because if Peter does not believe Jesus Christ, he will not cast his net. If Peter says, fear, we have cast our net everywhere, we are not getting, now you are come to tell us we should cast our net, leave there. If he does not believe him, he will not cast his net. And if he does not cast his net, he will not get the fish. Spiritually, the fish will be there. But he will not do what he needs to do physically. Do you understand? In the physical realm, what is physically necessary to do What is physically necessary to do? What is physically necessary to do? The person will not do it and have the results. This is what faith talks about in Christianity. This faith in Christianity is like accept the good news. It is not faith that you are having so that it will make God do something. No. It is God has already done something. Believe it. And why should you believe it? Because when you believe it, now you will take the physically necessary step to produce the results that you must produce. Okay. Imagine that there is a man that is under a curse. Okay. So everything that he does doesn't work. Okay, because of the curse. So he does this, it doesn't work. 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 He does this, it does this, it doesn't work. He does this business, he does that business, he does this 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 business. It doesn't work. Because he's under a curse. Then one day, God reverses the curse spiritually and gives him a blessing. And then I come to the man and I tell him that, listen, you are blessed spiritually. You are blessed spiritually, so what should you do? Get up and go and work now. Believe what I am saying and get up and go and work now. Believe what I'm saying and what? Get up and go and work now. You see, so the faith causes us to do what is spiritually necessary. What? Not spiritual. What is physically necessary. So the faith causes us to move. The faith causes us to act. The faith causes us to go forward. Physically, like doing physical things. So that what has been done for us spiritually will materialize physically. So that what has been done spiritually will materialize physically. So the faith in Christianity is not a faith that moves God. When you turn faith into something you have to do, or something you need to have, something you need to possess, in order for God to do something for you spiritually, or in order to activate something spiritually, in order to achieve some spiritual result, in order to do something spiritually, you have turned faith into works. And that is the kind of faith that is being preached a lot today. So we have taken the cardinal word of faith. You see, the faith, the term faith, that is essential in Christianity. But we are not using the word faith in the way that it is to be used in through Christianity. We have turned faith into works. So now everybody is trying, let me build my faith. So that having built my faith, God will bless me and protect me. So that I will move things spiritually with my faith. Let me develop my faith. So you see, faith has become another kind of works. Faith has become another kind of offering that we are making so that we will get some spiritual blessing or spiritual protection. But that is not it. Because the blessing and spiritual protection, God has given it already. In the spiritual realm, it is sorted. In the spiritual realm, it is sorted. In the spiritual realm, it is sorted. Why is it sorted? Because Christ offered himself, and his sacrifice alone is sufficient to give us the results that we need in the spiritual realm. So in the spiritual realm, it is well taken care of. Now we need to believe this fact. We need to believe this truth, so that now we take the step that is necessary physically, like in the physical realm. You understand? In the physical realm. The thing that is left is what we have to do in the physical realm. You see, but we will not do what we have to do in the physical realm if we do not believe that in the spiritual realm it has been taken care of for us. So you meet somebody today, the person says they are a Christian, and they believe that there is a spiritual curse on their lives, even though they are a Christian. You see? So what do? They spend all their days prayers and fastings. They spend all their time prayers and fasting, 40 days fasting and prayer. We are going to the mountain, we are going here, we are going there, we are going here. They do all these kinds of things because they are trying to reverse the curse. So they continue to do all these things and they continue to wallow in poverty. Why? Because they do not believe the good news that because of the offering of Christ, God has blessed them spiritually. What they need to do is to accept this good news and then say, hey, I am a blessed man. I am blessed in the spirit. There is no curse. Listen, believing it, it doesn't change what has happened in the spiritual realm. It doesn't change what has happened in the spiritual realm. It's not like if you believe it, then in the spiritual realm you are blessed. If you don't believe it, then in the spiritual realm you are not blessed. No, it's not like that. Your belief does not cause anything to happen in the spiritual realm. No. Whether you believe it or not, in the spiritual realm you are blessed. Whether you believe it or not, in the spiritual realm, you are protected spiritually. Whether you believe it or not, it is done. Your faith has nothing to do with what God has done. So he says that even if we are faithless, he is faithful. So long as the price has been paid to Ghana Water Company has opened the tap on their side. Whether you believe that the tap has been opened or not does not affect the fact that the tap has been opened. But what it does affect is what you will do. If you believe that the water has been opened, then you will get up from your bottom and go and open your tap, and the water will surely flow. You will go and open the tap and the water will surely flow. So the man is sitting there. He is not getting up to do what he has to do. And he's trying to reverse the curse. This is where unbelief. This is how unbelief keeps us from entering the rest of God. He said because of their unbelief, they could not enter into his rest. This is how he keeps us. Our faith does not do anything spiritually. Our faith does not accomplish anything spiritually. Anything that is accomplished spiritually is accomplished on the basis of Christ's sacrifice and his sacrifice alone. So it is done. It is finished spiritually. It is finished. Those who accept this good news, they now take the actions that are necessary in the physical realm. And then what has been done in the spiritual materializes in the physical. So in Christianity, your faith does not move God. You see, people find it difficult to accept the gospel, which is the good news that Christianity is sharing. You see, because they find it difficult to believe that God will do something for them when they have not offered anything to God. It's difficult for people to accept that. It's like they don't because and personally I have a theory that it's because of how human nature is. Human beings, like even airport, somebody, you have to offer something to someone for them to help you carry your bag from here to here. Yes. You see, human beings, we are such that like we can't do things for people unless they have done something for us. Like most human beings, like it's our nature. So we find it difficult to accept the fact that even though you have not offered anything to God, God has given you his blessing and spiritual protection. So we must always find a way to add something that we must do in addition to what Christ has done so that God will bless us and protect us. It's difficult for people to accept. But it's the truth. All mankind, everyone is blessed and protected spiritually by God. Every human being is blessed and protected spiritually by God. Why? Because it is not because of anything that they do or they have done. You see, it is not on the basis of their action. It's not on the basis of anything that they have done, but it's on the basis of what Christ has done. You see, when you are the one paying Ghana Water Company and Ghana Water opens the tap, what happens is that those who pay get water, those who don't pay don't get water. You understand? Those who pay, they open the tap for them. Those who don't pay don't open the tap. So when you have a mind that is that we offer to God so that God will bless us, then you will think, okay, so those who are offering to God, they are the ones that are blessed. So those who are offering praises to God, those who are offering prayers and fastings to God, they are being blessed. Those who are showing faith in God, they are being blessed. Those who are praying and fasting, they are being blessed. Those who are giving to God, they are being blessed. Those who are sacrificing to God, they are being blessed. Those who are living a good life, they are being blessed, and the rest are not being blessed. That's how you think. But when you understand Christianity, you know that no, listen, everyone is blessed. Every human being is blessed because of the sacrifice and the offering of Christ. Everyone is blessed, and that is the good news that we are carrying. Like we are going around telling people that listen, because of Christ, you are blessed spiritually. God protects you spiritually. Accept this good news and do what is physically necessary, and you are fine. People, listen. Why is it that? Let me ask you one final thing, because why it is like, hey, that is so. Everyone is blessed. Every human being is protected spiritually by God because of the sacrifice of Christ. People find it difficult to accept this thing. But let me ask you something. Why do you find it easy to believe that because Adam sinned? Let me ask you, because this is one like of the popular Christian beliefs, and most Christians don't have a problem with this. You believe that because Adam sinned, his sin passes upon all, no matter who has done what. You can accept that. But you can't accept that because Christ died, the blessing and protection of God spiritually has been given to all. You can't accept it. The sin of Adam automatically goes upon everybody. But the sacrifice of Christ does not automatically apply to everybody. How and why? When in fact the Bible says that just as through one man, sin came into the world, even so through one man. So in the same way that curse and bad things and all of that spread over humanity because of Adam, Those who like Adam, those who know about Adam, those whether they know about Adam, you don't know about Adam, they say that it has spread throughout for all of you. Why can you not accept that the superior sacrifice and activity of Christ, because of that also the blessing and protection of God spiritually has spread over all humankind? And your faith is not necessary for it to be true that the blessings and protection of God has spread over all mankind. Your faith is not necessary for that truth, because it is true. If you look in the spiritual realm, that is what you see. If you look in the spiritual realm, you see that everyone is blessed and is protected by God. The reason why we say you must have faith is because if you accept the good news, it will move you to do what you have to do physically, like the physical necessity. There are many Christians that are lethargic today. They are not getting up to go and look for a job because they believe they are under a curse. They are not getting up to move because, you see, your consciousness, your convictions affects the actions that you take in the physical realm. You may have been made an eagle, but if you live among chick and therefore you do not believe that you can fly as an eagle, you will act like a chicken for the rest of your life. Not because internally you are not an eagle, but because you don't accept that you are an eagle and therefore you don't do physically. You see, let me tell you, everything that is left is what we have to do in the physical realm. So the faith that is necessary in Christianity is not a faith that is to move God to act on our behalf. God has already acted on our behalf because of the sacrifice of Christ. The faith that is necessary in Christianity is a faith where we accept what God has done. We believe what God has done. And that belief and confidence in what God has done moves us to do what is physically necessary to achieve the desired outcome. Thank you for listening, and may God continue to give you insight into this.